I just want to give y'all a quick lesson on generational wealth and how it works. Rule number one is you actually have to care about the next generation in your family. I'm going to say that again. You actually have to care about your family and the next generation or a couple generations behind you. Animals do it. Certain cultures do it. We as black people, and I say we because I'm in that, you know, the way I was raised, a lot of stuff that I learned, then I learned from home, found that I was learning the wrong way. But just a quick lesson on generational wealth. I was talking to a client of mine today, and this is what sparked me to make this video. And she was telling me, now she was older. Well, when I say older, she wasn't really older, but the daughter was younger or whatever. But the daughter had the clients were actually older. Now the clients were actually retired. They're retired military. The dad was in military. The mom, I don't know what she did, but she was retired too. But the dad basically set up his generation. Now, I was actually going through their assets or whatever, you know, in their homes, right? So, let me tell you what they did for their generation. Now, one, they had a home worth $250,000. Now, first off, they had 3 houses. 3. The first house they lived in, free and clear. The house has been paid for since like 1996 or something like that. So they set their, I guess the military, whatever he did, he basically set himself up. But what he did, he's not like, I'm just going to sit back on my money and spend it. He bought other property. Second property he bought was an investment. He's not renting it. You know what he did? He gave it to his daughter and her husband. $250,000 house. Now they said their house is probably worth about $200,000. House doesn't have a mortgage on it. They're then basically stacking that money that they're getting, buying other property. Now here's what baffled me. Or it didn't baffle me, but it kind of surprised me. The house worth $250,000 had a really small mortgage on it. It was probably like $60,000 on the home. But that house didn't originally, when they bought it, they just paid for it. And they got a mortgage to take out for whatever. But they just basically paid for it. Now, they bought a third house, right? Now, let me tell you that this is crazy because I'm asking, like, so how many, homes do you own? They're like, yeah, we just bought another house worth $190,000. We paid $190,000 for it. It doesn't have a mortgage on it. So they bought outright. Now, these are average working people. One was in the military, and the mom, they both retired. Now, they're Mexican. I say that because it's very significant. They're Mexican. Now, they bought the house. Now, the third house, I'm like, I'm asking them, is it an investment property that they own? They're like, no. I'm like, what do you mean it's not an investment property? You got a $190,000 house just sitting there? Yeah, like, we got family who live in it. They let their family live in it, but guess whose house it is? Their 16-year-old grandson. When he was born, they started putting money away for him to have his own house. So when he leaves the nest, he's going to live in his very own house, free and clear, paid for, which he can use his equity if he chooses to do other stuff with. But the house is worth $190,000. They paid for it. It's paid for. All they pay is the taxes and insurance on it. That's amazing. Now, you imagine, and they're teaching their kids to do this same thing. They already bought, they're looking at 2 generations that they didn't helped out. just on the love. It ain't about getting something from them. It's just, hey, I love you. I want you to start your life out better. They gave their daughter and their son-in-law a leg up by giving them a house, $250,000 house, what they have equity in, which they can use their equity, take out to do other stuff. Which one of the things that which they're doing with their equity is paying off. Get this, they're paying off their deceased. I guess her daughter's husband or their son-in-law. His dad passed away. He had a home equity loan. They took the mortgage. They took a second, or they're refinancing their home, the little small loan, taking some of the equity and paying off their sons, paying off their what's the word I'm looking for? They're paying off their son-in-law's father's home equity line that he had on his house, so that house will be free and clear for their family too. That's crazy. That to me, that's just like amazing to me. And I think back in terms of, I see a lot of, people and what they do for their children. Some people, they don't really deserve to have kids, because once you give life, in my personal opinion, I'm not an expert. I don't even have children, and that's part of the reason why I don't have children. In terms of being able to provide for them, I'm actually planning and preparing my own self. If I ever decide to go that route, or once I find somebody I want to settle down with and actually have a family, give me a wife and have some kids, not like most people. I'm not saying anything is wrong with, people who do what they do, but at least, plan for some stuff. So I see a lot of people who actually believe that once they have children, their children owe them now. They actually had those kids, and they say, you know what, you owe me now. When you go out and get you a job, you owe me. These kids, they starting out, they go and get their little job at, whatever. And I understand teaching kids responsibility. The dopest thing I've seen, in that realm of, when a kid go out, they got to pay a bill, they got to pay rent. The world's not going to, give them anything. The dopest thing I've seen is that, one of my guys, he did this with his son. He took every single dollar. He was charging his son rent. He would teach him a responsibility because he knew his son would go and, blow his money. So he said, you got to pay rent. You got to pay for this, that, and the other. But he was still paying for the stuff. But what he did, he took every single dollar that his son gave him for rent and bills or whatever, and he put that into an account for his son. So when his son got responsible enough and got enough money to, pay him, and then he said, I'm moving out on my own, guess what he did? He gave that son a checkbook and said, here you go. Like, what's this, Dad? Here's a checkbook of every dollar that you ever gave me on bills and rent. Here's a leg up. And I forget how much it was, but it was a significant amount because he had been living with him, I think from 19 to like 23. He was giving him money, but he stacked every dollar that he gave him. And he made him pay a rent, made him pay a bill or something. He said he took some money out of every check he had and put it up. He said he put it up for his son. But his son thought the money's gone. It's a rent. But it taught him a lesson, but at the same time, he gave that money back to his son. He said, here's a leg up, son. You ain't going off to the world poor. I'm giving you a little bit of a dowry because nobody did it for me. I want you to have a cushion just in case something happened. Not me taking from you. I'm not taking from you. But that's what a lot of us, and I say us because I grew up that way too. I had to pay rent. I had to pay a bill. And instead of me stacking my money, maybe paying for my college, maybe paying for me a car, maybe doing something that could possibly propel me into success in my life, my money was being taken from me. Not taken, but I understand I had to live, but I'm still your child. But a lot of people would disagree with me, but I feel like if you're going to have a kid, you should prepare your child for not to just survive, but to thrive. A lot of rich kids, they give their kids trust. They give their kids, what do you call it? Some sort of benefit. going into the world, some sort of, cushion, to propel them into success. You should want your kids to be better than you. You shouldn't want your kids to be just like you, or I had to do it, it's good enough for me. You should want your kids, and God forbid you thinking, oh, I had them, I took care of them, now it's my turn. Now your kids, if they decide to take care of you, it should be their choice to do so out of respect and love for you. And that's because you took care of them, that's normally just the cycle of life. Nobody who loves their parents is going to let their parents just, go by the wayside, if they can help out. But that's just a thank you. It's a given thank you. It's a I love you thank you, just like you did for me. You raised your kids up right. You don't have to expect that from them. You don't have to demand that from them. That's something they would gladly give you because they love you. You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to, kind of share that with y'all, and, something that came across my plate today, and I hope this helps somebody. And I definitely recommend, looking at, your situation in your life, looking at your kids. Don't be jealous of your kids. Don't crush their dreams. Prepare their dreams. You have no idea how much of an influence that your words have on them. You're God to them. If you tell them they can do anything, they believe you. They believe you. Even if you didn't accomplish it, your words saying, son, you'll be better than me. Daughter, you'll be better than me. You're going to be better than me. You're going to do these things. I have faith in you. Those words, the words are powerful, but belief is even better. If you tell a kid they can do some stuff, and you encourage them, and you tell them how proud you are of them, they're going to go out and do greater things to make you more prouder of them. So just take that, just a little word, a little jewel, that I wanted to give away, to those who have kids and, who've been thinking about generational wealth. Expand your mind. I'm going to leave you with this. Just expand your mind. Don't love your kids. Love your family. Help them to get ahead. Why are you trying to get ahead? If they're going farther than you, be glad for them, because you have to have a turn. You're going to have a turn. Energy is energy. What you give out is what you get back. If you applaud somebody, once it's your turn, they're going to applaud you. So keep that in mind. Be good to people. Follow the golden rule. Do unto others as they do unto you. So with that, I'm out.